Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Racing Series Grand Prix here in Belgium. I'm Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me in the caster desk is the awesomely talented David Fossetti. How you doing?
I'm not bad. I don't know where you get this awesomely talented shtick from, though. That is the furthest thing from the truth I've ever heard.
Maybe you're right. I should have said supremely talented and modest Fossetti.
Yep,
How you
that's
doing?
the one. Yep, God Gamer would have done the trick as
God
well.
Gamer, yeah. Rainmaster, F1 Pro, you name it, he's got
Well,
it.
I could have been, but I gave it all up.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, enough talking shit.
Yep. I mean, we're
It's
here.
quite cloudy. It's not raining. That's a bit of a shame.
Yep, it's true. Well, I mean, it's not raining yet. There is obviously an opportunity for that to still happen. That doesn't necessarily mean that it won't happen. We are missing both the Mercedes drivers today, so no Hazard and no Spicy, which means we might be having a mild curry today.
That was so bad.
I'm sorry. We have a Renault on the way out, so vex it. But, I mean, look, I've got to do it to you as I do every single week. It wouldn't be me if I didn't. What is your top 3 prediction for this qualifying session?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Vexit Pole, followed by Some Idiot, followed by Danico.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, I'm with you on Vexit. I think Vexit is probably the fastest driver on this circuit. My only worry is he's had many a times where he's had issues being consistent. I mean, yeah, yes, it's an outlap, and he shouldn't really take outlaps into consideration, but he has invalidated it, and he's already had a number of mistakes already. So hopefully this isn't a sign of what his actual qualifying is going to turn out like. However, yeah, Vexit P1 for me. I think P2 is going to be a close one, but I actually think it's going to be between Samidia and Yonti.
Yeah, Yonti. I'm not sure if Yonti has the sort of outright pace in qualifying, but definitely in the race he'll come good. Just not quite convinced he's going to be up there at the front at the start.
Yeah. Now, we do need to do a hot lap rundown, so would you like to do it with our good friend and our P1, or predicted P1, sorry, Vexit?
Yeah, sure, Belly. Just flick over to him. Where is my guy? Into the final corner. Doesn't go wide. A lot of people go wide through the final corner to try and get that extra little bit of run down into the source. Speaking of, brake at the 100-meter board as wide as you can without touching the grass. Nice late apex, don't unsable the car over that curb. And he's going to get a nice slipstream coming down into Eau Rouge from his teammate, so that is coordinated. Not quite perfectly timed. He's had to lift on the top of Radion, and he's had to lift a bit more there as well. I'm not sure what's going on there. That's probably not worked out for the best for those two. Rainbow peels off into Lecom. Right, then left, and then keep it left because you're going to flick it right again. Cut the curb. Try not to run out too far on that. Into Brussels, or I think Ravage it's called. It's got 2 names. Get it out and flick it into the corner with no name. Bring it out onto that curb, not too much so you get invalidated. Into what is the most challenging corner, I think, Pouon. Just try and really strike that balance between running out wide and getting invalidated. He does that perfectly now. Into this right-left that I've forgotten the name of. Again, hugging those curbs. Quite generous on the exit into Stavolo 1. Bring it nice and wide because you'll need to turn in for Stavolo 2. And now it's full power for about a mile. There is a little couple of kinks left here. We've got this one here and the main event, Blanchiment. Easily flat in the modern F1 cars, and now one big moment now. 100-meter board, braking down into the bus stop. Try not to lock up, and more importantly, try not to lose the car under power. Back to the finish line, and that is going to be an invalid lap. I'm not sure what happened there.
Is Vexit desynced for you?
Yeah, he might be.
Where is he for you?
So he's just came across the finish line.
Okay, yeah, he's
Coming
definitely desynced for you then. He's already finished. He's now giving the toe to his teammate Rainbow. And when you were saying it didn't quite look right, and in the actual the way he was giving the toe, it looked perfect from my perspective. I couldn't have given it any better if he tried. Now he's receiving the or giving the same treatment that he received to Rainbow. Now Rainbow's going to get a huge run all the way up now. There you go.
I'm going to leave the session and join back again then.
Okay. Well, a few people seem to be having some issues as well, but Rainbow is still staying committed to this lap, and he has not yet invalidated where Vexit did. He was on a 141.2 though. That is the time that he did set, despite the invalidation. Samidia has already done a 141.4, so he's still slightly off of what Vexit was doing. However, Vexit did get the toe, which on that Kemmel straight is enormous. So expect for the times to change quite drastically as the session carries on, even more and more. Rainbow's still staying committed. This is actually probably going to be... Oh, a bit of a mistake there, actually. Just kind of lost the car trying to flick it through there. Had to catch it again, but he has returned into his former pace. Purple Sector 2 as well as Sector 1 he set earlier. So this is looking really good for him then. Yes, there are only 7 people that have put times on the board. Yes, somebody has only done a 41.4. I say only, that's still insane. But Rainbow's looking to beat that. Coming into the bus stop then. Bit of a lock up on the right hand side. Just got the left-hander to do now and get the exit just right. No back end step out, so he's kept that under control. And across the line, he goes P2, but only by a tenth and a bit. So really good run there from Rainbow. But you'd have expected a little bit more considering he got that toe.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Copy on a flyer. He's coming into the bus stop chicane right now. Somebody's fastest lap is still staying on my screen. We have not had a new one yet. Copy though may actually finally get a decent qualifying in. He did. He's actually only 200ths of a second away from Beaker, and actually not that much further away from Chan, who's in P3 currently. Purple Sector 3 there for Copy. So I know clearly something's working for him, but he needs to figure out a bit more time in Sector 1 and 2.
Yeah, Danico invalidated his lap, so he's out in the 17th, but he was up there with Copy in terms of pace. Didn't cross the line, so we didn't actually see what the time was, but Danica will bring it in for another go, as will Vexit. 2 people I think are going to do really well in qualifying, but you know, you really need to get a lap in at this stage. If you leave it just for that final run, the pressure's on, and some people can like crack under the pressure.
Yeah, they really can. Okay. Still the times staying the same. Nothing really changing as it stands. A lot of people have already done their laps and gone back into the pits. Microlander, though, he's out there trying to commit to a fresh one. Is Vexit? No, it's Rainbow just on his own lap. Okay. I think it is purely just... Yeah, it is only Microlander who's actually going to be able to get a time on the board for now. Lots of people leaving, interestingly. Keep seeing seeing a lot of people are having issues with the game today.
Yeah, Luca obviously gets quite a few disconnects and desync issues. Not the best connection on his end, but yeah, a lot of guys joining and leaving. I've seen Kagan coming in and leaving. I think he was just late though.
Yeah. I am seeing also Microlander just said it's Purple Sector 2. So there is a chance this might be one of the top 3 times. I mean, there is a fair bit of a gap between P1 and P3, but is this going to be enough then? Will he get across the line and jump up the board? He goes P3 with a 141.667.
Solid, and exactly what I expect from Microlander. He's been really good the last 2 races. Wouldn't be surprised if he pushes on and maybe challenges for the top spots later once Vexit, Brownie, and Danico get their laps in. But he's going to have to work really hard to keep up with those guys.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay. We have to monitor for now. There's only 1 driver out on a hot lap right now. Sorry, 2 drivers. Brownie's also joined him out there as well. With Zorro. Now, Zorro's not had the best when it's come to the qualifying runs. He's had a bit of a upsy-downy kind of racing. He needs to try and bring himself back again, ideally, to get a... nice start qualifying and set him up for a good race, and then he can then take that into the race later on and then just smash it all the way home. Realistically, in terms of strategy, I don't think a soft mediums is doable here. I think it's a soft hards. Is that right?
Well, I think judging, I don't know. A lot of people have really seen the value of tire management this game, and I think they've really sort of come into their own. I'm talking about drivers like Some Idiot and Brownie. I think they can definitely make a soft medium work. Whether the rest of the field are going to follow that, not entirely sure. I think you'll see the majority of people, unless there's a safety car at some point, going softs mediums.
Alrighty. Well, about 8 minutes to go of the qualifying session before we move over to the race. No signs of rain just yet, despite the fact that the sky is looking very grey, very grim. We'll monitor it as we go along. The Haas boys are giving each other a tow. That was Beaker getting out of the way there for Yonti. Yonti is through. I do believe that they did practice that a fair bit right before we got into this session. It wouldn't surprise me. It looks like Danico and Copy are going to do the exact same thing as well. It's going to be Danico receiving the tow, and then Copy's going to pay the favor. Get the favor repaired on the next lap. But I do need to keep a firm eye around the board as Zora has backed out.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but well, he has just got a lap in, hasn't he?
It's saying that there's no laps done on his tires for me.
I think that is an in lap.
It would have to be, I guess. Well, Vexit coming around the final 2 corners now. He is committing to a hot lap, and he's actually going to get a time on the board. Now, we did a 140.12 earlier. Is this going to be an improvement? A 140.7? Vexit. My word.
He's not bad, is he? He's not bad.
I think he's pretty decent, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's, yeah.
Got
He's
pace.
alright.
Yeah, he'll do. Fred Joko on his way around. We've got Luke, who's about to cross the line. He's crossed the line. He's done 42.1. P12 for him.
Slightly worried about Luca leaving himself for one run. And, you know, with his sort of lag and connection, rubber banding issues, it might be a strategy that definitely costs him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also keeping an eye. So obviously Beaker had given the tow to Yonti. Now Yonti is giving the tow to Beaker, but it looks like they've not quite executed it just as well as they wanted to. Yonti is going to have to dive out of the way a little bit early. There it is. And that is now Beaker running away onto his hot lap. Danico did commit to a lap. It was a 141.5, but that was invalidated. So now he's just going to have to give his teammate the tow, and they're going to have one more shot at getting some times on the board. Brownie, another driver who is very quick but has not yet got a time on the board, is going to need to get his finger out, and his act together if he wants to get his time up there with the big boys.
Lando Milkman up in P3. A great lap by him.
He's really impressed me this season. He's really improved so much.
Yep. I mean, what was he? Was he tier 3 last year?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not looking like he's at all out of place here. Not just making up the numbers. He's working hard. It's obvious to see, I think.
Now, I don't want to count my chickens, but Copy's just said a purple sector 1.
Well, I saw him as only less than half a tenth up on his personal best. He's got work to do.
I mean, if he was already saying really good first sectors, clearly he might have been having issues in the second. Let's see how this one fares as he comes around. Purple sector 2 as well. This is looking really good then for him. This could be, if he's going up half a second, it's 141.3, which will put him P3 for now.
Yep.
But he only needs a little bit more. If he can match the similar sort of gain from sector 1 and sector 2 into sector 3, he's looking at a P2 effectively.
Yeah, not much to gain in sector 3 though. You've got Stavolo and the bus stop. That's it. Let's see what he does though. It's going to be a 141 to 141.3, and yep, like you said, P3.
Yeah.
Beaker also getting up there. He's P4 now.
I mean, I'm actually starting to question whether or not Copy actually is in the running for a win here. Or, no, sorry, maybe that's a bit premature, because Vexit looks crazy fast. But I'm thinking a P2 at least. I think a P2, because Copy is somebody who's never really qualified well, right? And he always pulls off the consistency, okay? And, you know, Vexit is known to get penalties. He's known to really have bad races here and there. So I'm actually... I'm in Team Copy right now.
Well, I'm Team Cody, Team Some Idiot. I know where my loyalties lie, but we've got Brownie coming into the bus stop right now. Gets a nice exit. Very experienced driver. It's not going to be a 140. It's a 141.372. It's gone up as 371 on the board. And that is only P4 for Felix.
Yeah.
I
Just
expected maybe slightly
nibbling.
more from him.
Well, I mean, you got to remember though that Copy it has received a tow, whereas Brownie hasn't, or at least I can't see that he has.
I
Chan.
think he did. Chan's not too far behind, so it's not. I think they might have done.
Well, he's not repaying the favour.
Okay, so I think Luca has called it quits for qualifying. His game's stuck on 20 FPS, he says.
Oh dear, that's less
Yeah.
than ideal.
That is not many frames.
We have a not moving AlphaTauri downfield. Is that Zorro? Yes, it was. He's now moving there.
Yeah. So that was just an outlap.
We're running out of time as well. 2.5 minutes on a track that does take 1:40 at best to get around. So any drivers that are in the pits will need to head out soon. Those of you that are already on the track are going to have to commit to a lap. I don't think they're going to have enough time now to get in.
I'm just going to jump onto Brownie's stream, see if that timer is accurate. I got an ad.
Well, Zorro is starting his hot lap. Coming in towards turn 1. Just about clipping the apex there. Exit is really smooth, no back end step at all. As he's coming towards El Rouge Radion, there is a slow-moving Ferrari and a slow-moving Haas. They need to get out of the way very quickly, otherwise there's going to be problems. But it looks like because dip, dive, and dodged out of the way, Fragioco will give a little bit of a tow here. Zorro will just slip on past.
Chan comes across the line P5 with a 141.501. That's an improvement of 0.3 on his end. So the track definitely starting to come together, but that sky seems to be getting darker, I think.
It does look it. I mean, I'm still not seeing any rain.
Towards the end, but whether that'll actually have an effect.
Very interesting.
Timer is accurate.
It is. Oh.
It is. Yeah.
I think that's the first time in the entirety of F1 2020 that I've seen it actually accurate. Interesting.
But Yonti coming. Oh, he's gone very wide there. I think he might have invalidated that lap.
It's
Actually,
still showing good for me.
Quite a while ago, he seems to be just gearing himself up to give Bika a slipstream. Oh no, Bika's on an outlap.
Well, I mean, Yonti's turned his ERS off, so he's definitely back out of his lap no matter what.
I think what he's doing is going for another run. I think he's just realised he's running quite close on time, so he's just kicked it back into... Oh god, he's just overshot that. He's got Cody, who's, I think, slightly been held up there by Bika and Yonti. Yeah, he's slower on that final run. 41.3. Wondering if he might have been blocked there by Bika, who was obviously in a rush to get that final lap going.
The time for these drivers then is up, so a lot of people are coming into the pits or finishing their laps. So Michael Lander's finished, he's staying P3. Vexit did also cross the line, he's not going again, so he's going to stay pole position for now. I mean, look at it, almost 4/10 gap between him and P2. Which is obviously some idiot, so he's not on another hot lap, so he's done and dusted. Michael has not got a chance of beating it. Brownie and Copy have both finished. Chan's finished P6. Bika is on a hot lap. I mean, the chances of him improving by what,
the most perfect tow from Yonti. It was absolutely clockwork. He's doing 210 the whole way down the Kemmel Straight. I think we might see a big improvement here.
Well, he needs one, doesn't he? I mean, a couple
he
of
only
tenths
needs
will
a
move him
couple
up a
of
few
tenths
places.
to get himself on the second row. I think
you need the pole.
Yeah, he's got 2 tenths. He's got 2 tenths. I don't think there's any chance of Exit being toppled right now.
No.
But I think Bika is looking a good bet for the second row if he can nail the bus stop. That's all he's got left.
There we go then.
coming through the bus stop as well. He's gone into the pits. So it is Beaker coming across the line now. Not the perfect exit there from the bus stop, but it's good enough to get in P4 for now. You got Yonti is not on a flying lap. Fragioko was. He goes P10. Rainbow down in P9.
He's had a bit of a bad spell, hasn't he, racing-wise? His qualifying's not been very good for the last few races that I've seen. His race has gone pretty poor as well. I think we're seeing a bit of a different Rainbow.
I think he did quite well in Britain. I think it was more down to the strategy than his actual pace. I think he was on the podium.
I can't remember now.
I'm sorry, I can't remember either.
No.
I'm going to double check that.
Okay, you check your findings whilst this qualifying session is over. So Vexit has secured pole position. It's Samidiat there in P2, Microlander in P3. But the gap between Vexit and the rest of the field is way bigger than we all anticipated.
Yeah, Rainbow won the last race.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah,
he's had a fantastic
He's in terrible form right now, but
yeah,
he's won the last
form.
race. So yeah, the last podium was Rainbow, Yonti, and Copy.
Well, that's it for quali then. And we had one of our three... Oh, sorry, you said Samidiat as well, didn't you? You said Vexit Samidiat. But we all overlooked Microlander.
Danico let me down a little bit there.
Just a tad.
Just slightly. But he'll make it up in the race, I promise.
Well, the rundown is as follows. Vexit on pole position with Samidiat P2, Microlander P3, Beaker P4, Copy P5, Brownie P6, Chan P7, Lando's Milman P8 with Rainbow P9, Fragioko P10 with Danico getting best of the rest just slightly. And look at that, 10th, 11th and 12th are all really close together. With Luke in P12, Yonti P13, and just taking us outside that 1 second margin. Then Zora, then we've got the times that couldn't be set or retirement, which is Otterskang, Luca, and Max Claren. Oh, much sunnier. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, that's a shame. I always like seeing Spa in the wet.
Yeah, Eau Rouge Radion in the wet is very scary in these F1 cars.
I'm quite surprised that there was such a big gap in qualifying from Vexit to everyone else, really. Usually you don't see that in ERS. It's a lot more tightly packed, the field. So, quite surprised for that. I'm not sure it's going to pan out that way in the race. I'm sure you know that Samidiat is a very good driver over an actual 50% race. Maybe not his strength qualifying, and a lot of the other drivers are in the same situation. You think of Copy, you think of Brownie, and Yonti as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to have it quite as easy as he did in qualifying.
I have also been told that it is a soft mediums strategy here on this circuit, so do expect to be seeing people going that distance, but more importantly, soft medium strategies actually massively benefits Samidiat because he's always somebody to take the tyres much further than anyone else, and he always seems to be better off when it comes to the late stages of the Grand Prix. So, Vex is going to be leading us around here on the formation lap. Dave, give me a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3 is... I know I just kind of talked down Vexit's chances, but I do think he's going to win this one. I don't see Samidiat being anywhere other than second, unless he's first. There's no way he's going to drop back. Do you know what? I'm going to say Microlander P3. I don't think it's going to change at the front. I really don't.
All right. Fair enough. I can get behind that. I actually don't know what to say for my 1, 2, 3. I want to believe that Beaker can achieve a podium, but honestly, yes, this is a circuit that he's pretty good at, but he tends to get caught up in far too many issues in every single race I see him in. So I know I'm optimistic, but at the same time, I don't want to do the commentator's curse. Far too many times have I been cursed by my own voice. I'd rather not put somebody in the bin as a result, so I am just going to say as is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone in that top 3 that is out of position for me.
Yeah, I agree.
They're all top 3 drivers. They're all consistent over a race. The only person I can maybe see dropping out of that top 3 is Microlander, but I'm not sure who could replace him.
But every time we overlook Microlander, he slaps us back in the face.
Absolutely, he's probably going to go and win this race now.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like, I don't know how he does this. This guy went from being practically never watched, right, to being one of the most watched drivers on this grid. It was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us put him in a top 3 for qualifying either, so it kind of goes to show that he is kind of still being overlooked by us. He's doing his best, though, to prove his point, and he's definitely doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've given in as is for my prediction for this race, but that's more so I don't jinx anybody. Strategy call.
Regardless, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone's got mediums except Luca, but I don't think he actually had control of that. But we shall see. As we are coming back into the grid boxes once more, we're just waiting for Max Claren to get into his grid box, and then we will get this Grand Prix underway.
Luca actually not in his car right now. Car is ghosted.
Well, it is race time. The lights are on, in fact, and Luca's going to need to really get himself in order if he needs to get any positions in this race, because Vexa is leading and the lights are out. We are away here. Looks like Vexa's got fantastic starts. Same for Samidia. He's going to have to try and watch out down the inside, though, because he's got the outside line coming into it. There's a Red Bull down the inside. That is Microlander, and everything seems to be okay going through turn 1.
Well, everything apart from the fact we're on lap 2 and Max Claren is leading. Oh, Luca pulls over. Not sure what's going on here. No crash.
Oh. There's a bit of touching though between Rainbow and Lando's Milkman. Also, look at Luke. He's right in the mix of this too. He's trying to get around the outside here of Rainbow as we come up towards Lacoum. This is going to need to be a really smooth run around the outside. Rainbow gives him a little bit of a squeeze. Manages to get on the curb and still get himself ahead. So Rainbow stays P8. But Yonti, he's really struggling here. Yes, he's on the mediums, but I mean, he's up to P10. I'm still not seeing him looking comfortable though.
Big fighting between Brownie and Copy as well. Copy's come out ahead in that battle. He's kept his position. That's something I expect to see as well. Rainbow, Chan and Brownie and Copy as well to have a really good fight through the early stages of this race. They're both pretty equal on pace. And they'll be looking to get to the top of that sort of midfield to really attack that top 3.
Yeah, I am also a bit concerned about anybody who's fighting. Oh, Copy's gone a bit deep through there. That's actually allowing Brownie now to get right onto his gearbox. This is an opportunity as we come towards Blanchimont. He needs to make sure that he dumps whatever he can get. If he can hop, skip, and jump past Copy, which he's trying to do now, this is going to be really difficult. Oh, he flicked it right around the outside. They're going to go side by side through. Blanchimont, a mistake has been made by Brownie. Oh, wow. My word, he caught it, though. And that was a Code Brown. That was a definite Code Brown.
Just watching that back on his stream, puffing out the cheeks. He's okay though. He's gone slightly red.
I mean, I'd be slightly brown too on that one. Now I do just want to point out the obvious that a few people have gained places. So somebody has had a major issue. It looks like. Oh no, he's just ghosted. He's actually still P2.
Yeah, looks like he's all good on my screen. Bottas Gang and Max Claren with the wing replacements. Max Claren onto the hards, Bottas Gang onto the softs. He's going to have to pit again.
Now, Brownie has managed to get past Copy this time. There is no DRS. I know it says lap 3, but I assure you we're not yet on lap 3. It is, in fact, going to be the next lap. So the telemetry having a bit of issues on left-hand side for now, but it will fix itself as soon as we cross the line once more time.
Yeah, and Brownie does actually get past Copy.
Yeah.
Not sure why that happened,
now,
but they
roles
have
have reversed. Roles are reversed now, because I said that. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
And Copy's actually dropped below 1 second. My interval doesn't seem to be refreshing. Yeah, interval is dead.
Yeah, it's a bit frozen. I think he's still fine. I don't think he's actually... I mean, he's at risk. He's definitely near enough there.
Like he's over, so he's close, I think, but yeah.
I think people are getting a couple of warnings, though. Brownie looked like he ran a bit deep there through Stavelo, which is not good. Stavelo won.
Yeah, Brownie is over a second away from the guys in front. About 1.1, 1.2.
Copy's at risk of losing his 2. I mean, like we said, he is already quite large in the gap, but now he's at risk. Now we come across lap 3. We are actually on lap 3. DRS has now been enabled, and you can see the gaps correct. So yes, Brownie is just outside. Now just tiptoeing back in again on that 1 second margin. Copy is going to be fine. He should be, well, he might not be actually, because he's losing a bit of time here. It's only going to take a literally 600ths of a second. Oh, I think he's just got the... Yeah, he did. He got the detection zone. Did Brownie get DRS? Yes, he did. The train is still living on for now, but Brownie needs to dump a lot to close back in.
Yeah, looks like nobody missing out on the train. Not just yet.
Well, Vex is still leading this race quite comfortably, although not pulling away as quick as I would expect him to do, to be honest. I mean, maybe he's not quite pushing as hard as he could. I mean, he's used a fair bit of his ERS. He's actually used more than Samidia has. Yes, he's got the DRS on the toe, but I would have thought Vex would have wanted to try and use his pace that he should in qualifying to try and break that 1 second margin between him and Samidia, knowing that Samidia is incredibly good on his tyres.
Yeah, and that is the sort of key to winning in Formula 1, especially the Formula 1 game. You know, you've got to break that 1 second. If you keep him there, just sort of cruising along like some idiots doing right now, you're basically handing the victory. They can overcut you by a lap, dump all the battery they've saved, and just swoop in and take that win from you. Although Vex has had a decent second sector. Microlander getting nice and close to some idiot now. Could be doing him a big favor if he decides to make a move into the bus stop. He's doing the exact same thing, he's saving as well. So they're all probably just waiting for Vexit to either make a mistake or jump into the pits.
And that's not too far-fetched, is it? Because it has been many an occasion where Vexit has had issues where he's either got warnings and then penalties shortly after. In terms of natural driving mistakes where he goes off and hits a wall or something, I've not really seen them very often, but the penalties are the major factor that he's trying to bank on here. And the top 4 are actually starting to pull away from the rest of the grid.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Brownie's had to sort of dump everything he has to try and stay in that DRS train, and he hasn't managed it, so he's kind of in the doldrums right now with no battery. So he's going to struggle for the rest of this first stint unless we see a safety car, or unless he pulls in a mega lap.
I think Lando's Milkman's having some sort of connection issues because I've just seen him drop right down. He was on the back of Luke, I believe that was. And now he's had a bit of a lock up there. You can see it's mentally affecting him. Zoro's actually going to get in that position on him there. Back up to P12 for him. Lando's Milkman is going to be very sad.
Rainbow losing a position as well. Luke just ghosted through him. Rainbow left a couple of seconds ago. He's joined back now, but he's dropped a spot. Yonti down in 10th on the medium tyre. He is going to be dangerous coming into the second stint on that soft tyre, I think. Same with Luke and Daniko.
I mean, this plays to Yonti's specialties, let's be honest. He is very much... like in the way that somebody is really good at extending his tyre life, Yonti is really good at doing the alternate strategy. This is his element. He will pull this back.
Absolutely. Same with Daniko, actually.
Yeah.
Mr. Reverse Strategy. Yeah, absolutely. And doesn't always work. I tend to prefer having that soft tyre to start the race with. But if it keeps you out of trouble, it keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it does take a lot of skill to be able to manage a really heavy car on really slippy tyres in comparison to what you could be on if you go into those softs. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I struggle when I do the alternate strategy, but these guys, they practice it. They know what to expect. They appreciate that their quality pace is not that great. And so they'll be doing what they can to make up for it in the race. So now Luke, under pressure from Rainbow, who's on the grippier tyres, has managed to reconnect into the game. The DRS wing wide open. ERS not really need to use too much, and he should just be able to cruise on by.
Yeah, bad news for Brownie. He dumped everything coming out of the source to try and get within that 1 second. Didn't quite manage it, and had to run the whole Camel straight with no battery. He lost 7 tenths there.
Yeah.
He's doing a pretty good job of getting it back now. He's got it back down to 1.2.
There's a few battles on the circuit that's still going on. You got the 4-car battle for the race lead. You've got a 2-car battle for P6, and then you got a nice little 4-car battle for P8, which Rainbow is currently leading as the start of this lap. But the cars chasing him are all on the medium, so they're in no rush to attack him. They would just very much like to stay in that train, stay in that tow, and just keep utilizing the fact they don't have to push as hard as they need to, because they can just sit behind him and let him pull them forward.
Never rains, it always pours around Spa, and the bad news is pouring in for Brownie. He's now got a 3-second time penalty, and he's more than 1 second adrift with the car in front. Not a good start for him. Not a good start at all.
No, definitely not. A couple of lockups for the top 4. Not ideal, but it won't really be the end of the world. Brownie, though, the most frustrating thing for him here is he is right there on the back of this train. He almost is within that DRS once more. Look at it now, just outside that 1 second margin. He can't even quite bring it in. He hasn't really got the DRS to work with, and he's not going to have DRS again this lap. But he doesn't have to worry about Chan behind him, because he also doesn't have DRS. So it's basically just, as long as Brownie can sort of manage this gap for now, and still keep himself at this level of pace, it should all pay dividends a bit later on, if you don't factor in that penalty.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's a late safety car, he's going to sink like a stone, unfortunately. But that is the way it is. That is the way you win races. You keep that penalties free, and there's a good chance you're going to fly up the field at the end of that race.
Yellow flag sector. Oh, Lando's Milton. He's had an off.
Doing all that complimenting.
Yeah.
And look where it got him. That's
I
your
honestly,
fault.
well, I'll take that. Yeah, yeah. I honestly think that all stemmed from one issue, technical issue. It looked like he had a bit of a lag spike or something that forced him backwards. And then once it gets in your head, if you let it get in your head, it's so hard to break that, and that's what makes the difference between the good and the great drivers.
Yeah. Bad news at the front for Beaker. He's pushing quite hard to stay with this train. He's doing much worse on battery than everyone else. And he's now got a 3-second time penalty to contend with as well.
Yeah.
Although they're really dropping Brownie now. Brownie seems to be really struggling. Coming back into the clutches of Chan and Copy.
Yeah, this is starting to become a real danger zone now for Brownie.
Chan's
A bit early, I think, for that. Actually, I haven't said that. There's only 22 laps.
Rainbow
Maybe not.
well, he's got to try something, though.
I think Michael is going to go for a move this lap. He has been getting very close to the back of some idiot.
He's going for overtake. Yeah, I think you're right here. I think you're right. He's going to go for it. Yeah. And what a run he's got. Semi, it's going to probably deploy everything he's got now, and it might lead to him having to go at Vex.
Oh.
It does. He goes around the outside of Lacombe. Has he got the grip? Yes. Yes, he has.
Oh. And also, Michael is trying to stick his nose in as well. He's trying to get any opportunity on what was race leader. And now Vexit, who will slot into P2, makes a bit of a mistake there. That was very nearly contact between him and Michael Lander. But after that very, very on the knife edge overtake from Samidia, it's just a change of 1-2.
Now, if I'm Beaker right now, I'm going to pit this lap. I'm going to try and avoid any of this fight that's going to go down. Maybe try and undercut. I don't think he's going to come out into traffic. Chan seems to be well clear of the rest of the pack. He's gone onto the hards, Chan. Rainbow onto the mediums. Chan not comfortable with that medium tyre. Doesn't think it's going to last for 15 laps. I can't say I blame him, to be honest.
I mean, it also depends on his setup. If that's set a bit too aggressive, if his tyre pressures are a bit too high, then yeah, he will lose a lot of tyre wear each lap. So you do have to sort of look at your own driving style and ask, can you accommodate it? If the answer is no, yeah, do what he's done, switch onto the hards.
I think we might see Microlander in this lap. His pit box is ready for him. And Vexit's in, but Microlander does not. I think he goes opposite to Vexit.
And Beaker's in as well, though. So he listened to what you said and chucked himself in the pits.
I mean, I would have probably hoped if I was Beaker that Vexit wouldn't come with me. Although, it might be nice to sort of sponge off his DRS.
Yeah, and the toe as well. That would really help. Brownie's in
Vexit's
too.
been held by Brownie. Could be good news for Beaker. No, it's not quite enough.
Yeah, Beaker obviously was using Microlander for the toe earlier and the DRS. I think Beaker might actually just be a bit too far back. Yes, he is. So he's not actually going to be able to get that toe
really
and DRS
nails
on
that
Vexit.
exit.
Yeah.
Even though he was held by Brownie. And a bit of movement further down the field. Taniko, I think, just pulled a move on Luke.
He did. Oh, is that? I thought Luke had just had a bit off there, but no, he's still going okay. Lando's Milman, though, he's looking to send one on Max Claren as they're coming up towards Eau Rouge Radiant. The exit needs to be smooth here. Yes, it is. A much better run through there than Max got, and that is going to allow Lando's Milman to turn his DRS off, use the DRS, and just fly on past.
Yep, very, very solid move. And Max Claren seems to be rubber banding a little bit as well.
Now we are waiting for more people to pit. More specifically, our race leaders now. Somebody at Michael Lander and Copy. Copy's obviously a bit further back. I mean, quite the way back. What's that, 4 seconds, 5 seconds?
Yeah, it seems to be. I haven't got my interval working right now. But I would say, yeah, maybe 5.5. And yep, they're both in.
Is Copy coming in though? That's the question. Yep, he's in as well. So the top 3 all jumping into the pits. And now Yonti will be race leader for a while.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be probably around 4 or 5 laps at least.
Yeah, I mean, you probably want to pit with around about, because obviously they haven't done any quality time on the softs he's going to be going on to, so you could say around about lap 12, maybe lap 13, he's going to chuck it into the pits.
And Exit regains the lead, but not by much.
You mean net lead? I was well confused there for a second.
Yeah, sorry. You know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, Beaker's back to effectively where he was. Microlander is the one who's losing out, but it looks like somebody's going to go for a move here. Huge toe gain there on Vexit, and Vexit's just going to slot right back in again.
Big send by Cody. It. Brilliant. And I'm not biased at all.
Yeah.
But they have, crucially, they've dropped Microlander. If they can keep this pace going, they don't have to fight. If they can keep this pace going, they can effectively make this a 2-horse race if they work together.
Yeah, but Microlander has been known to demonstrate the natural pace without that toe and DRS. It's just the fact of how does he currently bring it down again with the fact that he's got so little ERS in comparison. There is a yellow flag ahead. Yeah, Thorough.
That's a weird place to go off on the entry. Oh, and that's caught out Beaker as well. Microlander 3 seconds. And now it really does seem to be a 2-horse race.
Yeah, they're not the type of people that would get penalties, so it looks like somebody in Vexit should be clear cut from now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't honestly remember the last time I saw somebody get a penalty. He is just rock solid, and Vexit maybe less so, but still not someone you'd bet on getting a penalty during a race. I think this might be a tasty matchup for the rest of this race. They seem to be really evenly matched, and I think it will be a case of, here, I'll sit behind you for 3 or 4 laps, and then send it, and then vice versa.
I'm intrigued to see how Yonti and Danica do when they eventually pit and go into the softs, because obviously they're going to lose a fair bit of time. I think it's like a 21-22 second pit stop overall, so that will put him around about P13 as it stands.
And there goes Vexit round the outside of Lecombe. Cody only too happy to let him go, gets on the brakes early. After you, sir, I'll sit behind you for a couple of laps.
Yeah, this isn't working in their favor though, because Microlander has gained a little bit.
No, it's not, but it's also giving each other that sort of slingshot effect as well, though. You know, you are getting that slipstream, but yeah, it's probably not ideal and not sustainable over a long term, especially when you're being chased.
I mean, Beaker's dropped off a little bit from Microlander by a couple of tenths. Brownie is right on that limit there between him and Beaker. If he can just break another 10th in, he should then be able to get DRS on Beaker, and then maybe they can work together to help bring themselves back into the fight for P3 effectively.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a fight between Microlander and Beaker. I think, well, Microlander's run out of power. He's run out of battery.
Yeah, he's literally in the single digits now. He's had to turn it off just to have anything going. Because even when you are not in the overtake mode, you are still using a bit of ERS as you come in onto the straights. And you can see it's stuck at 3% because he doesn't want to use any more. But he is almost there on that 1 second.
Yeah, it's not like 2019 where you could just sort of turn it off in corners like the bus stop and La Source and use that power that you save to deploy. You have to use it all the time. It's just a question of whether you want that boost or not.
Yeah, exactly. It is really difficult to sort of generate ERS on this track because there is so many areas on the circuit where you are hardly touching the brake pedal.
Cody's got a great run. So Cody's got a great run through a Rouge Radio, and it is easy as you like. Actually giving a little bit of weave, although that might have been desync on my end.
I saw the same actually. It did kind of look like he got caught out. I think maybe he was changing a setting or something, and then looked up again and saw, oh, actually, I'm kind of drifting.
Oops.
I have done that many a time.
Yeah, just like I drifted into you last night at Imola.
Yeah, Yeah, I remember that well.
Just change the settings.
Scared the living daylights out of me. But we are here still in Spa, and we are still going. Yonti actually is doing a pretty good job of just maintaining lap times. My only concern is that he's being caught rapidly by these guys, and he's going to run out of time. I think obviously a podium seems to be out of the question here. I think we're more looking at whether he can gain on Michael Landebeeker and Brownie.
Yellow flag in sector 2. It could be the prayer that they need, because they need a safety car right now in truth, or at least a VSC.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the rate they're going. I'm not sure they're going to get either. It's been a really, really clean race.
Famous last words.
Famous last words, and you know, it can never have too much excitement. So, 78, that's the fastest lap of the race so far. More bad news for Yonti. Gap is now about 7 seconds.
Look at Microlander. That gap is very close. We got another yellow flag. That is a racing point. That is Luca, who has retired. We'll see if that transitions into a safety car. It does. I don't suspect that it will. That is a proper crash, though. Safety car. We have had one.
But it's a really bad spot for Yonti. He's going into Lecom.
Yeah.
Of course, they are still under the delta, so yeah, they should actually lose out. But it's too early, I think, for softs.
No, I think they can do it. I think they can do it.
Yeah, if we get an extended sort of period, maybe 2 or 3 laps around with the safety car, 7 laps is definitely doable on softs. We saw that from Samedi and Microlander.
Now
yeah,
this
I think it is doable. They're still going to drop behind. Probably looking at sort of around Beaker and Brownie if they do box, which, well, they obviously will if they've got any sort of sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, look at where their positions are. They need to gain as much as they can physically on the track, and this isn't a track where the track position is that key, truth be told. This is more down to how quick you can be on the circuit, because overtaking is pretty easy, let's be honest. We saw, I mean, apart from if you tried to go too wide in Blanchimont like we saw Brownie do, anywhere else it's pretty clear.
It almost worked, though. It almost worked.
It almost ended his race as well. Yeah, exactly.
You know, almost worked.
We're almost pulling pieces of Williams out the barriers there, but no, he's all good.
Stop they go. They'll be really getting as close to the delta as they can. In comes Yonti, in comes Danico. I think in comes everyone, to be honest. No, some idiot stays out. So does Vexit.
Vico as well.
Nobody else. Brownie does. Brownie takes that opportunity. Already got a penalty. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, 4 laps in. That's 4 laps fresher tyres they're going to have. They could probably go back to the softs, actually.
Yeah, they will almost certainly go out to the softs. Lots of people in the pits.
Brownie. Yonti, P5.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's huge.
I think he's gonna fade towards the end of this race, but I think he can do some real damage early on.
Podium. I'm calling a podium here.
I'm calling a win.
I think that's a bit far-fetched.
I genuinely think he can do this now.
I believe in him.
He's really gone super, super lucky.
I don't know. I mean, the stars have aligned. This is all really down to how good his horoscope is reading out for him right now, because he has to do a lot.
Rainbow between him and Danico, the other guy on the soft tyre. Luke's gone onto the hard. Must be a mistake.
Either that or he has no softs left and he's worried he's not going to make it to the end of the race, and he has to change compound.
You go for a set of 1 mediums, don't you? No,
well,
surely
not. Is that his only stop? Yeah, it's his only stop. So he can't. He has to change. Yeah, he has to change.
So surely he's got at least 1 set of softs free. Yeah, he has to.
I don't think so.
You get 1 set of softs to the race no matter what you do in qualifying.
I think that's how it's meant. Well, I know that's how it's meant to work. I don't think that's how it works in this game, unfortunately.
A lot of things are meant to work.
I mean, there is one issue mainly for this game, is that the tire allocation is wrong. Like, you can't actually go for a harder set. There is no harder set. You can change the box to say, let's go to harder, but if you look at all the tire compounds, they're basically just exactly the same. Nothing changes.
the slightest.
What do you mean?
I think it's a very good game.
Let's not dive down that rabbit hole. Let's stay well away from that one. But I do want to point out, like we've already kind of touched on, the strategies now are going to be really messed up. So those that were on the mediums are looking really good. You know, they managed the tires perfectly. Aside from Microlander and Beak getting those penalties, they've actually done a really good job of maintaining that pace. But now you add the mix of Yonti and Danico and the likes behind, even Brownie to an extent, you know, on the soft compound tires, suddenly they're at threat. Beaker with that penalty, Microlander with that penalty will mean that the likelihood is they're not even going to get on a podium today. Is really sort of, it really shines through just how racing can change at the drop of a hat.
Well, this is the second lap, so I think after this point, we're looking good for a soft till the end.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think
Obviously,
anybody's
the
going to
longer it
realize.
goes on, the more comfortable Yonti's going to be. If we get another lap, that'd be even an even bigger bonus, because we might not see the same sort of late race fade that I thought we might.
Did you also hear that the Mercedes safety car will not be as around as much? It's going to be shared now.
Right.
Yeah, which I'm pleased about because I love the Aston. It looks beautiful.
It doesn't kind of sit right with me that an actual team in F1 like has the safety car as well. Kind of seems like a conflict of interest.
In what way?
Well, like, you know,
it's not like it's competing.
An actual team that's competing is providing equipment to the FIA as well.
Yeah, but they're not really providing a proper equipment, though, are they? Because I mean, how many times have you heard Hamilton moan in the under the safety car conditions? Going, the safety cars go too slowly. You'd have thought, if anything, it'd be in their interest to benefit Mercedes.
I don't want to talk about Lewis Hamilton, alright?
You mean the goat?
Yes. Yeah, the goat.
All right, just casting out my my rod there, seeing if there's any nibbles. I think we're about to see the safety car coming back in, though. We are coming into the start of Sector 3. Watch out. Yep, there it is.
There we go.
Suddenly it gets to back them all up.
He does. Look how hard they're weaving as well, those medium runners, to really get the temperature in that tire. No such worries for Yonti and Danico. They're going to be nice and toasty after a couple of left rights.
Yeah, the key here is to not go too early, but it's also you don't want to go too late. You want to do it right before the final corner.
The key is to go when they're not expecting you to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the job to find that out, you know.
I guarantee you, he goes through the final corner, does a slow exit, and as soon as everyone goes, "Oh, I've got a break now," and then he'll bolt. Yeah, he's gonna bolt.
Because you'll see him probably exit, try and bomb it. Although no, he just goes for it straight out of the corner.
Wow, that's a mistake there. Beaker with a massive penalty from his teammate. Severe collision. Has Yonti got damage? He has. Right wing. Right end plate is in bits, so he's in trouble now.
Oh, no. That was... Well, you predict him to win.
Yeah, that one's on you.
That's on me. That's on me. Apologies.
Definitely on you. We have a full course yellow, though. I don't know if you're seeing that, too.
Yeah, I am indeed. No idea why. We've also got Brownie. Yeah, Brownie with the illegal overtake. I guess he's going to fight that one out in the steward's office because he blatantly ignored it. It was on Luke, who's just behind him. So let's just hope he doesn't have to pit again.
Rebel's gone for a send down on Yonti, and so has Danico. This is just how much Yonti's struggling with this wing damage. Yeah. He cannot maintain any pace despite the softer tyres, and suddenly...
He'll drop even more through Pouon, because that's the one that requires really the most downforce. Brownie alongside, easy as you like. But just look how quick he comes across Luke. Luke almost runs into the back of him, he's so slow.
And actually, the yellow flags, the ignoring yellow flag penalties are actually because we had a full course yellow that pretty much was unwarranted. There was no reason for it to be there.
That's fair.
They'll probably be removed.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Luke has fallen away. Those hard tires are not working for Luke at all. Whether it was a mistake or whether it was intentional, it's not working out for him at all.
There's no way he tried to do that. And, you know, if you pit twice in the safety car, you're going right to the back of the field. And Chance sends one in on him. And, bit of contact there. Luke turning in slightly early. Don't think there's any damage. Both drivers locking up, though. So I think it's fair game.
Apparently there was a hard break on the bus stop from the leader. I don't think I saw one.
No, I don't agree with that.
Oh, interesting. Maybe from the rest of the drivers, I don't know. I mean, they were all really close, but ultimately it comes down to you as the driver behind. You have to make sure there's enough of a gap. But,
I know he went quite far to the right to get the best possible run out of that bus stop. And wow, big send by Danny Coe on that soft tyre around the outside of Legum, no problem. Now he's got 3.8 seconds between him and some idiot. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he does it. He's got the clean air. I don't want to predict that anyone might win this race because it's not worked out too well so far.
You're almost afraid to speak now, aren't you? Because every time you say something, it just goes wrong. And you can't even explain it because we know it's absolutely ridiculous to think that commentators guys actually exist. But it's just happened far too often.
Yunti's actually had to pit.
Yeah.
Because of me. I'm sorry. We'll take the blame.
Yeah, I mean, look at the gap. He needs a safety car, but we're running out of time. We've only got 6 more laps to go, and that's if you include the one that they're on right now, which is almost at an end. So it's a bit of a pain for him as Brownie's closing in on Rainbow.
Yeah, Rainbow on those mediums.
These two strike me as very hot-headed individuals when it comes to fights on the circuit. Obviously, DRS has now been enabled as well, so there's going to be a fight between the two of them here. Rainbow will more than likely defend with the fact that he needs to. He's on the medium tires. He hasn't really got a choice but to fight him because he can't get him back. If once he's passed, he can't get him back.
Yeah, Brownie definitely. If you get him riled up, you know, it's a different person, isn't it? It's not the cool, calm, collected. It's actually the same with some idiot. You probably might not realize it, but he is one of the most hot-headed drivers I've ever sort of experienced.
Oh, this is going to be all in the braking zone. Rainbow's... Whoa, that was a very...
Brownie just doesn't brake.
Well, it was an interesting... an interesting defense there from Rainbow. That was very nearly a chop of the... It looked like he moved over to the left, squeezed it into the edge, broke really hard, a bit early, I think.
But I get it. You know, he's on these old mediums. There's nothing he can do once Brownie passes.
Yeah.
So I understand the desperation to try that late move, try and throw him off. I think he did, you know, it's borderline, but I think he did it sort of in that grey area. I think he was okay.
Brownie didn't have to go off the track. He also didn't have to do anything out of the ordinary. He just had to continue on what was already his plan. So I think it's more than within the more than within it. But yeah, it was not far off being a major disaster. Almost being the safety car that Yonti needs. But it hasn't arrived. We have not yet got one. And we're probably not going to get one now.
Yes, indeed. Some idiot actually at the same level of ERS as Microlander and Exit. So it's quite interesting. You don't often see the leading car being level on battery.
Yeah.
It's usually the leading car that has to give it everything, and those guys comfortably coasting behind.
I think Vexy realizes how little he actually has to do now. He doesn't have to get aggressive here at all. Because if he starts doing a lap-on-lap swapperoo between him and some idiot, then he's going to have issues. He doesn't have to worry about the two drivers behind. The benefit to the latest update that came out for this game was they can all see the penalty situation. And so they just go, okay, well, I'll just manage this then. I'll just sit tight and wait for the second to last lap.
I would agree with you, but also the fact that some idiot is not under pressure right now.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not racing that hard. He's not using overtake more than he has to. More than Vexit is, anyway. He's just happy to sort of match everything he's doing. The DRS really isn't giving him that much of a benefit right now.
Brownie getting another penalty. I mean, that puts him to, what, 6 seconds? Oh, 11 seconds. Oh, yeah, he's got that 5 as well, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that 5 that he'll fight out in Stewart's.
6 in total. I think Beaker's 5 is actually going to stay. I could be wrong. I didn't see the contact.
Yeah,
but...
Mika's got 3 and 5, so it's, yeah. But not sure what happened. Generally, I don't see why Beaker would get the penalty. It would be Yonsi's responsibility not to hit Beaker.
Yeah.
I don't think somebody did anything wrong in that restart. He simply went well to the right to get the best possible exit out of the bus stop. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of speed doing that, but, you know, you've got to kind of see that coming. But Beaker has dropped out of the DRS, which is going to leave him very vulnerable to Danico once he gets into that 1 second margin.
I actually think the reason why is the top 3 just seem to have really put their foot down all of a sudden. Vexit was right on the back end of some idiot, and we're now going to be seeing him using the DRS, unless he turns it off.
Well, the pace was very high, clearly, because Beaker is he's running there with single-digit ERS. So, you know, the pace is high, and he's just been dropped. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's in trouble now. That penalty that he already had anyway was going to make it worse, but now he's got some soft runners behind him, all of which are really rapid right now. He has no DRS to protect him. This is him he's going to fall right down the order now.
100%, yeah. Soft
Which is sad.
Not had that much of an advantage, though. Not as much as I was expecting. I was expecting Danico to really just come through and be 1.5 seconds a lap quicker. It's just not worked out that way. It's been maybe like 5/10 at best.
I mean, it also been the factor of the DRS, the toe being so strong. I mean, Danico is really starting to reel Beaker in, which is sort of demonstrating how bad Beaker's tires are starting to become, but also how much he's struggling without that DRS to protect him, and the toe to protect him.
Tires shouldn't really be an issue 10 laps in for a medium. Seeing Zorro pitting 11, he was the earliest. The rest of them pitted with that safety car, which was, I think, lap 14 maybe?
I was more meaning the optimization on the tire not being quite as good as it should compared to the softs. But my English was not very good.
You're northern, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting for Vexit to actually go for a move. He's running out of time now. I mean, he's not actually... Oh, here we go. This is it. He's got the ERS mode on mode 3. The DRS wing wide open. That was... He read this perfectly. He's going for it, 100%.
I don't think so.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. And it seems like somebody didn't fight that one too hard.
No, because now he can repay the favor.
Something else under his sleeve. Micro under another 3 seconds. That is really bad news for him. Could have maybe relied on one of these guys getting a penalty if they fight hard enough. But now that's not going to matter.
Well, it's actually great news for Danico, because he's got 0 penalties, and he will jump both of these guys ahead of him now. It was already looking like that was going to happen, but now it's been cemented. There's realistically no way that Michael Landa can sort of protect himself here.
Yeah, he's got that insurance policy. I think even if he gets a 3 second, I think he's probably going to pass Speaker anyway. Yeah, looks like a nope.
Don't say it. Don't do it.
Stop.
It's not worth it.
Stop.
But you now know that Michael Landa is going to do everything he can to really affect these two ahead of him, because he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean that would. It's not good enough now passing. You've got to try and sort of sit on the rear wheel, maybe try and force them into a mistake. Not obviously force them off track, but
pressure them.
Force them into the mind punt, I think is the one we're looking for.
Yeah. If you can mentally pressure someone into screwing up, that's the much better way to overtake someone.
Somebody goes slightly deep, doesn't quite get the exit. The exit has really shot away there. Although, like you said, the DRS and the slipstream very powerful. We could see somebody in with a chance. I think he might save it to the last lap.
Yeah, it's risky, but he might. And Vex has turned everything off here. Look.
He's closing too quickly.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stick for it though. Yeah, he knew it.
Wide. Michael Landa getting very close now.
Oh. Yeah, he's going to go for a send. Somebody has to be careful here.
Yeah, we're going to see a grandstand finish, that's for sure. But yeah, if Michael Landa sends it, that is Vexit's insurance policy right there.
Vexit turned everything off on that Kemmel straight. He was hoping that somebody was going to just close in really quickly and just fly on past him. in actual fact, some idiot obviously did similar sort of situation, and he did let Vexit carry on resuming the lead. But they have basically left themselves exposed now to Microlander.
Yeah. Danico only 2.8 seconds off the leader, so if one of them gets a time penalty, Danico's going to be in second place.
Yeah, that would be heartbreaking if that happened to either of them. But we are now coming up to the end of the penultimate lap and starting the final. It is Vexit who's currently leading. Samidiot chasing him down in P2. And now we'll see whether or not Samidiot has timed it right. He's got the gap he needs. It's just that Vexit has everything he needs too. He's actually a little bit worse off than Samidiot in terms of ERS, but the exits are clean for both of them. And now Microlander could go for it.
It's all about the source. I think Samidiot's gone. Oh, he's gone deep. He'll get a better exit though, because he has gone deep. And yeah, I know. I think he's got him. He's closer than he was last lap, and they're both giving it absolutely everything in the overtake now. Vexit's dropped below 10%. He's going to be really, really vulnerable now. And he's played his card a little bit too early.
Yeah.
It's actually onto 0%, and he flies by, does Cody. But he goes slightly deep.
Oh, Vexit.
Maybe got a chance if he can force it too wide. Although I think that chance is rapidly disappearing.
And Microlander as well, really, sticking his nose in.
Yeah. And if he can save enough in Sector 2, he might be able to do something around Blanchimont into the bus stop, but he's rapidly running out of time. And I tell you what, during that fight, they've actually increased the gap to Danico behind. So those softs slightly past their best now.
Yeah.
They did start to fade. So you kind of wonder what could have been with Yonti.
Yeah, now watch Vexit here. He's literally still in single digits.
He's out.
Yeah, he's done. There's no way. I mean, somebody's not even using the arrow. Oh, he's just turned it on now, but 0% almost for. Well, there you go. It's now on 0 for Vexit. There's no way out of this. Then some idiot has done it. He's successfully done it.
They're all on 0%.
They literally left nothing behind.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing behind.
And it's great to see. It's a fantastic race. And it's not the top 3 if we predicted. Penalties took that away from us, but I think it was a pretty solid prediction.
Yeah, near enough there. Near enough there.
Yeah.
They crossed the line in almost our predictions.
Exactly.
Wow, what a drive from Samidiot. I mean, they both did really well, but Samidiot in particular, who just managed to play those perfectly, he also played the patient game and not going for the overtake on the second to last lap, waiting for this final lap to do it. A really good big brain moment.
Just wasn't given a choice when he came up so quickly behind Vexit. But yeah, I think sort of lap 20, he was all too happy to let Vexit past when he tried that overtake and let him maybe try and push that gap. I think always Cody knew in the back of his mind that he was going to have it on the final lap.
Yeah, almost certainly. Well, there is your podium then for this GP. Let's go and have a look at the rundown and who finishes where and how. So Samidiot getting the win, as you saw in that dramatic final lap, with Vexit there in P2. Danico getting P3 due to the penalties that Microlander had. Puts him nicely up there, actually. And Chanakinchi gets P4. Beautiful. He actually wins the Carlos Sainz Award today. He actually had 0 screen time, and he still managed to deliver a really good result. Microlander getting P5 after his penalty has been taken into account, with Copy P6, Fraudioko P7, Brownie P8, with Beaker P9, and Bottascan getting the final point. Rainbow gets best of the rest, with Luke in P12, Landers Milne P13, Max Claren 14th, Zorro 15th, Yonti 16th, and our only DNFer, Luca.
Yeah, I just want to point out that was actually my qualifying prediction. If you swap somebody at Vexit, I did have Danico P3 for qualifying.
You did. You can see the future.
I'm genius.
Yeah,
certified genius. Yeah. What a race that was.
It was. Pretty damn good. And that's it for the European Racing Series Grand Prix here in Spa. We'll see you guys next week for A-Track. I can't remember. Which one is it?
A-Track. Oh, A-Track. I can't remember which one that is.